you guys can see from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be showing you guys the Milano class on Call of Duty Warzone. I'm going to be showing you guys the class first and then go on to the gameplay. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So we're going to start off with the muzzle. Now, like as you guys can see right here, it comes with only 5 attachments, not all 10. So you're going to have to use these attachments very wisely. But for the muzzle, you guys want something that increases your accuracy, your damage, and your range. And that is simply by putting on the agency suppressor. As you can see, it also adds on sound suppression, vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, effective damage range as all at once. As you can see for the bars, accuracy, damage, range all goes up at once, and the mobility and control go down just a little bit, but we're gonna make up for it for the other 4 attachments. So go ahead and put on the agency suppressor. Now we're going to move on to the barrel. Now for the barrel, you guys want something that increases your damage, your range, and your mobility. That's already making up for that mobility loss. Okay, so that is simply by putting on the task force. Now by putting on the task force, you increase your effective damage range, you have an increase in bullet velocity and strafe speed, which is very necessary when you're dealing with SMGs in general. And for the bars, you can see damage and your range goes up like a lot, okay, and your mobility goes up just a little bit, but the range and the damage goes up quite a bit. So that's why I recommend putting on that task force. Now for the laser, you only get like a few options right here. I recommend going for the mobility option because we did lose that mobility, and that is by putting on the Tiger Team Spotlight. As you can see, movement speed and aim walking movement speed, which is really necessary when dealing with SMGs, and you guys want to increase your movement and stuff like that, so increases the mobility by a ton. As you can see, that's a pretty big bar to increase just by putting on one attachment. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on. Now for the stock, the whole purpose of a stock is to either increase the control of the gun or the mobility. Now we're gonna stick with the mobility option and go with a marathon stock. Okay, now for the reason you want to stick with a marathon stock is because the sprint to fire time increases and your mobility is almost maxed out. As you guys can see, mobility is right there to the max, pretty near. Okay, so you want to put the marathon stock. Now I don't recommend putting on the optic because it is a waste. I remember I tried this class out today without the optic and I was struggling, but you know, once you get used to it, you don't really need the optic at all. But the optic is nice if you had all 10. Of course, if you did have to choose one and use one, there is quite a few options right there for you guys. Probably the Microflex LED would be the best, but I don't recommend that at all. So I do recommend going over to the magazine, since you are very limited on what attachments you get to use. Now for the magazine, the only reason I say to use the 50 round drum mag is because this is an SMG that holds a little bit of bullets, so that's why I recommend going with the fastest, and not the fastest, but the most amount of bullets as possible. Ammo capacity goes up, but this isn't the only, that's the only pro, is the ammo capacity. The only downfall with that is the mobility going down, but that's okay because this is an SMG build and this is the class right here.
I cracked him, dog. Is that? Where did you just come from? Where are you, bro? And he's self-revived right on me. Oh, thank God it was a different team. He's on chem already. We have 2 people on one. I can't move. I'm stuck in this little tunnel. I got hit with the good thing is.
Got him.
Nice. I'm saying everything. Like, his teammates are on chem. The guy that's
right next to him, left, right here.
Behind. Right here, on tower. There's one more on his body. He ran inside the other turret. What? So low.
He's landing in. He's on top prison, I think.
I see him.
He's at top.
I'm gonna get my loadout and come back. I hear so. Oh my God. I think there's people on me.
There's someone down here. In the showers. Yep.
On me.
Hit him a little bit.
I'm shot.
Got him. There's another one.
Somebody just parachuted in. Ghosted right there. Obviously ghosted, but they're right there.
Yep.
Reinforcements are on the way. Enemy UAV active.
On top prison. Got him down.
Oh, I just
That was a wipe.
Nice, nice. Let's steal his stuff, bro. There's people we're on that right now.
Dropping into the area.
People landing in.
Watch the skies.
Us right here.
Okay, I'm prison. Watch out here.
Not one shot, but I got you.
What? I was one shot and then he got fully cracked and like a little bit of a skin there on top of me.
Reinforcements are on the way.
Gonna land on my loadout again. Careful, they're on the roof. Oh my god. I'm going to grandma's. There's a teammate here. This guy's one shot. I'm camping in this truck.
Not in the truck, in the shed.
He's in the shed. Oh, I see. Well, thanks for completely robbing me.
Enemy UAV active.
Got you, baby.
There's a whole team down here. They're bounty.
Yeah. They're getting loaded.
I'll hold them.
Top, he's a top, he's a top, he's a top.
Nice.
Oh.
Just one more.
On top of us, on top of us.
Giving flyover. Enemy UAV active. Out of fuel. Returning
They're on the
to
side.
resupply.
Watching our enemy.
I see him. He's running away.
He has serpentine, got him.
I'm gonna go kill the other kids. Nice. He's got loadout too.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
His teammates are landing in. Back where his
Enemy
loadout
here
is.
now.
I'm going back to their loadout.
Throw me. Oh yeah, they're definitely on the roof. I just saw a dead body fall from a dog.
Dog.
Yeah, on the roof, on the roof.
Oh, you're so.
A little bit.
You said a really not
They're
nice
going in the
word.
roof. I got one. He was using a shotgun.
Running away.
Under me.
They just flew away.
Oh my god, out of bullets.
Got him for you. There's another one right next to me, right in front of me.
Drop inbound.
I died from not anybody killing me from storm. On my body.
Got him.
He's trying to finish me, yo, that's crazy. I don't have stems. I'm dead.
You're gonna be fine.
What? No, look, I just. You know what?
Finish.
What do you mean? Like, I'm gonna be fine. Yeah. I need to put a cluster down, bro. Weirdo.
Enemy dropping into the AO.